by itself. It's impossible for anything to exist by itself and unto itself. We were not created to be that way. We were created to be in community. We were created to be in relationship. We were created to walk together with each other, to love each other, to serve each other, to grow with each other, and in the end, to succeed together. No man is an island. And if we look from Genesis to Revelation throughout Scripture, there's some incredible examples of teamwork and how people work together, whether they were small groups of people or large groups of people, it doesn't matter. When they worked together, they achieved. There was success. When people sat alone and did nothing or try to do things on their own, it was very, very rare that they ever succeeded in doing anything. I mean, one of the most incredible stories in Scripture about teamwork and about unity is actually the story about the Tower of Babel and how they were working together furiously to build this incredible tower to reach God. And they would have succeeded if their motive had not been wrong. And that's why teamwork is really so important, because there's a lot of checks and balances that come into place when we work together as a team, because it can't just be my vision or your vision or Stefan's vision or Christina's vision. It has to be a collective vision in order for it to succeed, in order for it to grow some sort of momentum and for us to work towards it. If it isn't a collective vision, then teamwork actually cannot come into play, because we're fighting against each other with regards to the vision. So with teamwork at the core of everything, the most important fundamental in establishing the reason to work together as a team is to come up with a common vision or a common purpose or a common goal. And if we have that established and we set our hearts and minds on it, then it's easy to work together and to grow this thing called a team and to journey together towards that goal or towards that vision. If we are all of a different mindset or a different understanding, or we have a different vision and there's no collective, then we will struggle. We will always fight in the process towards success, and we will not reach that goal. So with the story of the Tower of Babel, they had a common vision, a common purpose, and they were working, as I said, furiously towards achieving that purpose. But the purpose was wrong, or the vision was wrong, the reason for it was wrong. They wanted to set themselves up to be equal with God. And then, we know how the story ends, where God just sent confusion amongst them, and suddenly there were all these different tongues and languages and tribes, and people just were completely confused, and they had no unity again. Teamwork breeds that unity or builds that unity. As we grow with each other in the journey, so we start to realize how each person commits to that vision and they grow towards it. And what I've seen with this incredible community that's come together here over the last couple of months is slowly but surely more and more people are starting to share in the same vision. And the more people that buy into and share that vision, the easier it will be to journey towards success. But if every person that is journeying with us in this incredible project has a different vision or a different mindset or a different understanding, the journey is going to take a much longer time, because everyone's fighting for themselves rather than fighting for the team and working towards that common goal. So it's very, very important. The foundation of establishing teamwork is to have a common vision, a common goal, or a common purpose that you work towards. Otherwise, there's no point. Think of a game of soccer or a game of rugby. There's a clear goal. There's a clear vision there. We want to go out onto that field and we want to win. And we're going to do whatever we can do as a team to achieve that goal. Now, another incredible story of teamwork in Scripture is actually the story of the fall of Jericho. And that to me is one of the most incredible acts of God and one of the most difficult challenges that I think the Israelites ever faced in all their years in history. I mean, they had been in captivity in Egypt for decades. They were caught in that place, in the place of slavery. It was like hell. They'd been through all these different calamities and all these different plagues and things, and they now faced with the hardest challenge of all, the city of Jericho that lays before them. And God gives them a very clear set of instructions, part of the bigger vision of where they're going. And he says to them, I want you to walk around the city of Israel for 7 days in silence. And on the seventh day, raise a collective shout and the walls will come down. Now, why do I say that this must have been Israel's hardest challenge in all the years of their history? Well, and this is, I'm being honest, okay? They had to keep all those Israelite ladies quiet for 7 days. No chitter chatter, no skinner with the other end. It must have been a massive challenge for the men to say, hey, let's not talk, because we've got to adhere to God's plan and work together with this collective vision to see the success of it. And throughout the journey of Scripture, incredible stories of teamwork, things that were achieved when people just united. Even the story of Esther. I mean, Esther was alone in that journey, so she thought. And then what happened was, when the Lord instructed her to get the people of Israel to pray and fast, it became a collective thing. There was teamwork in that to achieve the goal of the vision that was given to her. So we have to make sure that we always share the same vision. Otherwise, teamwork has no purpose at all, has no part to play. Once we have the same vision and we are working towards that vision, then we all bring a different set of skills to the table. We've got administrators, we've got workers, we've got leaders, we've got teachers, we've got incredible skill sets in this amazing team that's come together. And as we grow, as I said, towards that common goal, that common vision, working towards that purpose, on purpose, so the different skill sets will come to light. I mean, just look at the administrators that have come forward in the beginning part of this journey. There's many more that will come forward too. And if you want to see the success of what has started here, just stick with the vision and allow the skill sets to come through. You will start seeing people, as this family grows, you'll start seeing people coming out of the woodwork that were quiet for months on end because it wasn't yet time for their skill set to be released, or they didn't realize the fullness of that vision. And suddenly it starts to play a bigger part. You know, when you're building a jigsaw puzzle, you generally start by taking out all the edge pieces of the puzzle, and you build the frame. And then you look for all the pieces that are the same or similar color or similar shape. And then you start building from there. But you don't take all 500 or 1,000 pieces out of the box and dump them on the table and spread them around, and suddenly you have the picture. It's exactly the same when you are journeying towards something and you're working as a team. We've got to find the little bits and pieces of that puzzle that start to form a picture. And then you've got to build out from there. Otherwise, it's a poikikos, it's a chamors. It never goes anywhere, you know. So you have to understand that, but maybe there's only a few people that are pulling with us at the moment. Maybe there's only a core that's being formed, but that's okay. The rest of the people, as they see the unity developing and as they see us committed to a common vision and a common purpose, they will fall in line. They will start to work with us because they start to see little steps of success. And success just begins by getting up every morning and taking one step towards that goal. It doesn't mean you get up today and you achieve the goal tomorrow. No, you've got to chip away at it one day at a time, one activity at a time, one moment at a time, and you work towards that. And obviously, the more people that are doing that are buying into it, that are sharing in that vision, the quicker you can move towards that success. I mean, just in the last 2 weeks or so, the movement on the boards has been incredible because people have suddenly caught the vision and realized, but hang on, I have the ability to move towards the destiny that I saw for myself, but I have to commit to the team and I have to commit to the project in order to realize that. And suddenly people are committing things that they weren't considering before, and now suddenly there's this movement that's starting to happen, and that's incredible. So in order for teamwork to work, we need to first build the team. And it takes time to build that team. And that's really what has been happening. And you find people fall by the wayside and other new people come in. And that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody's meant to be in the boat. Some people are meant to be dragged behind. But that's okay, you know. So as we grow in this, we will realize more and more that I cannot do this by myself. And Jesus himself said it on numerous occasions in the New Testament. He said, I can do nothing by myself, but I only do that which I see my Father do. And what really always hits home with me about those words is that there was unity in their relationship. There was a common vision, a common purpose, and they worked together on purpose for the purpose to reveal the fullness of God's love to humanity. So we have to realize, like I said right in the beginning, nothing in this world, nothing in all of creation was designed to work alone. Even the blood cells in your body, they cannot work alone. One blood cell by itself can do nothing. All right. Oxygen, the air that we breathe in, what is it made up of? It's not just the chemical O, it is a component of oxygen. All right. It's made up of multiple parts, multiple elements. And these things have to work together to complete something. And Ecclesiastes, the wise man Solomon, talks about these relationships. And he says the two are better than one because they get a better return for the efforts. They can protect each other. They can keep each other warm. And then he talks about that cord of 3 strands that is not easily broken. And if you look at the cord of 3 strands that they talk about, if you look at the way that these ropes and these cords are actually created and woven together, people often think of a plait that you do in your daughter's hair, you know, a French plait, and the way that the strands of the hair or the strands of the rope are woven together. That's not what a cord of 3 strands looks like. With a cord of 3 strands, they are almost twisted together around each other. So there isn't just a central core, they all form part of a core together. And they all, what's most important about it is they all pull in the same direction. Whereas with a plait, you're crossing over one strand at a time, and they pull against each other in different directions. I've tried to plait my daughter's hair once or twice, and you start pulling in the wrong direction, and it doesn't look like a plait anymore, and it looks like the latest weave. But what's so important is you have to understand how that cord of 3 strands works. And the way that it is actually manufactured and is twisted together, all of those cords turn in the same direction around each other. So they strengthen each other. And that's why it's not easily broken. If one cord gets cut, there's 2 cords still pulling in the same direction, giving it strength. So it's really, really important that you understand the dynamic of that, because we often lose sight of it because of the picture we build in our mind. But the strength of that is in the way that those 3 cords pull together from one end to another. So again, going back to teamwork, first and foremost, before we even start to work as a team, we must establish a common vision, a common goal, common purpose that we are going to work towards. And then we can start finding the pieces of the puzzle. Who are the leaders? Who are the people that are the charismatics, the ones who like to talk and like to share? Who are the quiet introverts who don't like to do much, but they're good at doing admin or whatever? We sift through that and we find the people, and we get them to understand what that vision is, and we work together with them in that journey. And remember, if we do this together, united in the vision, we can and we will succeed. But it's so important when we build the vision, that we build the vision with the right values and the right understanding, because those little things can trip us up. And that's what we'll start talking about from next week. Some of these revelations of life, which become building blocks of us as individuals. And when we build those building blocks together in a team, wow, what an incredible foundation, and how strong it can become, and how true the success will be. And then the other really important thing to keep in mind here with regards to teamwork, it's not about the leader, and the people that are following. It's about the people that succeed because of the leader's sacrifice, humility, and commitment to see others lifted up and edified. And at the end, the last person to cross the line should be the leader. He's led his people to that destiny. He's led his people to the goal. He's completed the vision, but he's not the first one standing at the top. He's the one waiting at the bottom, lifting the last person up and pushing them over so that they can be part of the team that celebrates that victory, and they join together, achieving very much because they set out from the beginning with a common vision and a common purpose, worked together in unity, gave the best of themselves that they could possibly give, strengths and weaknesses, and at the end of the day, we've journeyed together to success. So that's my take on teamwork. What is it? Is it important? Of course it's important, because two are better than one. And yes, I see Leon just put there dream work. Teamwork is dream work. And some say teamwork makes the dream work. All right. But we've got to go a little bit beyond that and make sure we build the team correctly so that the team works to its optimum. Any questions?
They must first come up with the shock of the wise words that you spoke here, Andrew. Let's give them a minute or two. Just to add on something, a small example of teamwork where the leader is not the one that's actually pulling the team through. I don't know, a few of you may know how cross country works. It works on a point system. First runner scores 1 penalty point, number 2 scores 2 penalty points. And it happens frequently that a very strong school of 4 good runners might take the first 4 positions in a state championship or provincial championship. And, well, that gives you 10 points, 10 penalty points. But then number 5 and 6 and 7 runners are far behind. Then you get a school who's got maybe 1 in the top 10, 2 in the top 20, but then number 7 runner comes in the top 40. That's a team that is going to win. So it all depends. The winner, the one that's making the team win, is the last one. The higher he plays, the better chance they've got of winning. I remember when I was in primary school, I was the strongest runner at that stage on cross country. And on the national championships, individually, we had 4 good guys. So on the first kilometer, we ran 4 kilometers. On the first kilometer, I ran with the number 7 guy and got him to catch up with our number 6 and then to 5. And I said, there you go. Now you stay together. I'll win the race overall. And then we won the team competition. And they came in together because those 3 then ran together. 3 as a little bit of the team or part of the team, 3 of the 7. But the other 4 also moved in fast. And because number 5, 6, and 7 finished so high up, we won the national championships that year. It all depends on the weakest person. I was for many, many years in the transport industry. Your pool of drivers or van assistants or crew, whatever you want to call them, is only as strong as the weakest driver or the one that's not performing well. And that's the one you target on. You don't work on the top drivers. You work on the one who's struggling with his admin, his paperwork, the one that don't change gears properly. You work on that one, send him for training or train him yourself. And eventually you work those people up, because the top drivers now know the weaker ones is coming for them. They're working up the list. Their performance rating is higher every month. And I worked on a system where the top drivers become supervisors and eventually managers. So they were always scared of the weakest guys because they know I'm helping them, I'm assisting them, I'm training them. And that's how we're building this team. The movement we've got now, suddenly with 48 boards we're working on at the same time. It's much faster than boarding calls because we collectively as a team, it wasn't my decision to work on our own boards. We discussed this for months on end. And eventually a few of us got together and we made a decision that that is the way it's going to go. And it's unbelievable how these little groups work together on the chats. And they understand if it doesn't happen this month, get half the board full or get 3 people on. Next month, we do another 3. And slowly but surely, every day there's more positions being filled because they're now working as teams of 6 or 7 people on a board. And that is teamwork. If the weakest one or the one that can't sponsor a position or get somebody in now, don't get somebody in, keep on motivating, keep on sowing the seeds. And eventually every team will be successful. And then when that one is closed, we'll tackle the next one. That's how we go on. You cannot succeed in anything in life alone. If you can give me a good example of any person who succeeded on his own, try to convince me that it was only his own work. Nobody can succeed alone. Even somebody that gets stranded on an island after a ship sunk somewhere, he can't get off that island. He can never get off that island till somebody else come help him. No man is an island. No woman is an island. We were created to work as a community, as a group, as a tribe. Right, let's see if there's any questions. Silence is golden. Andrew, you flabbergasted the people. There's no questions.
I want to add just something as well. One of my, I wouldn't say my favorite books in the Bible, but one of the most influential books that I've read in the Bible is the book of Job. And what strikes me most about that book is actually in the last 2 chapters. Almost in the entire book of Job, this guy is trying to be an island and is sitting by himself, moping and complaining and groaning against God because of all the calamity that's happened to him. And in the second last chapter, it says, and when Job had prayed for his friends, God restored everything to him that was taken from him. And all that I learned from that little passage is, it's not about me. It's not about me. I wasn't created for me. I wasn't created for Andrew. I was created to be a gift, like we spoke about last week and the week before. And when I can see that I'm just a vessel to be used in the hand of God, whatever way, and it's not about me, then suddenly things change. Favor starts to happen. So I challenged someone on it the other day. They said to me, and they're not of the same faith, but they said in their morning prayers, they were praying and they did a whole lot of things. I said, well, I hope in your morning prayers that you prayed for me because we're working on your house and we're trying to complete this project. And she said, oh, no, we didn't pray for you. I prayed for my family and we prayed for everything we had need of. And I actually said, I said, have you ever heard of Job or read the book of Job or you know the story? And I shared it with her and she says, oh, no, maybe I must change the way that I pray. I said, might be a good idea, change the focus. Because what did Job do there? Took the focus off himself and wanting to be, the lead in this thing and turned it back towards the community of his friends and said, let's shift the focus here. And that's really, the foundation of what teamwork is. Let's shift the focus here. It's not about me getting to the top. It's about you getting to the top, because if you get to the top, I succeed as a leader. I've done my job. I've helped to build the steps. I've given the guidance. I've shared in the vision. I've set a foundation. We've built the platform. Now all I've got to do is get you up the stairs. I don't get you up the stairs by standing at the top and calling to you. I get you up the stairs by pushing you from the bottom. So take it as it is and enjoy it.
Very wise words there. Yeah, sometimes you need to push up. You're not the one that's going to reach the summit first. If you're a leader, you're the last one there. You must first get everybody else on there. All right, if there's no questions, I made a challenge last week to 10 people. Oh, there's a question quickly from Elise. Let's answer that first. My question is, how do I motivate those who appear to have given up? Set an example. Andrew, what's your view on that?
Well, think about what motivates you. everybody's motivated by different things. And unfortunately, a lot of people are just motivated by money, and it's the wrong sort of mentality. But think about what motivates you. And when you are motivated and your excitement and your enthusiasm carries over, then it becomes infectious. But if you try to motivate them with the things that supposedly motivate them, there'll often be a lack. You'll miss the mark because you're not serving them. You're almost trying to rescue them, and that's not going to help to motivate them. So we shared this, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we spoke about that role of influence. It starts with you. Get yourself to a point where it becomes contagious, that they start asking questions. So why are you so happy? Why are you so positive? Why are you so committed to this thing? Then that will motivate them. That will drive them. But if you try to motivate them with the things that supposedly motivate them, it's like giving your dog a treat every now and then. It's really not going to change their behavior, and it doesn't help them in their character. They just become needy, and then they'll keep on yapping every time they're not getting their way. If they're going to be team players, they're going to adapt to the environment of the team. So we got to make sure that we keep the team environment that is healthy, an environment that is pure, an environment that is driven towards that vision and the goal, and that will motivate them. But like I said, it goes back to the factors that motivate them. And unfortunately for most people nowadays, it seems to be money, but money definitely shouldn't be a motivating factor in anything.
Okay, yeah, that is a good answer. The challenge that I laid out last week is give me an example of one gift that you can share to the world, one simple gift you can share to the world, and the reasons behind why you chose that specific gift. I can't remember the names, and I see Lana is not on, so she don't have the list for me. I listened to the recording of last week's call, and I forgot to write down the names. I thought Ilana will be on, so I'll go randomly, like Andrew, no preparation. Anthony, you are one of them. I see you on here. What simple gift are you going to share with the world, and why?
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Andrew.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I was introduced by Zelda Kavari to this project. And because I've been doing so many projects, I just came in just as another project. After I retired, I realized then, actually recently, the 40 years that we all speak about, that you work for 40 years, at the end of the 40 years, you mentally drained. And then I had serious challenges with my health. And I had an open heart surgery, whereas the doctor took my heart out and had it in his hand because I didn't take blood. And they took my arteries from my lungs and put it direct in my heart. Immediately after that, my kidneys only function 10%. And so many denominations prayed for me, and prayer is very strongly pulled me through. But coming to the point, I listened to Andrew last week, and I realized that it is not who we are, it is what are we going to do about it. And I was given an opportunity by Zelda joining Gift of Legacy. And it actually helped me realizing that in the beginning, it was about me. It's just another project. And maybe I will make a few bucks. But then I realized after Andrew's talk about the bread that old man given to the children, I realized that this isn't just another project. This is something that everybody needs to do. And why is the youngsters, the young people, not doing it? And they are the actual people that needs to be helped to do this, because I mean, soon they can benefit from this. And then to me, the most important opportunity that I received is to give and to rectify my share back to the community and help those in need. You know, I was thinking now about a very poor mining community in Northern Cape. I've got a lot of family there, and these people, all of them worked, and the majority of them died. Even my father, of lung cancer, and all kinds of cancers due to the mining industry. Then the BS came, England, and they just closed all the mines. And those people, they are the poorest of the poor, and they just sitting there with nothing. And there and then, today after I spoke to Zelda, I said, Zelda, what am I going to talk about? Zelda said, my God, I also don't know. But I was thinking now that those people need help. And I am, or I've got the opportunity to help these people, that they can change their lives and the community. So this is my share, and the gift that I can give to the world is something which I never thought of, is to help communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. The recording will be posted. You can listen to that. But that Anthony said, they're very, very true words. Very true words. We've got just over 3 minutes left. There's only 3 others on the call that I challenge. I'm going to randomly take my pencil and push down on the paper. Raquel, you next. You've got 2.5 minutes.
Hi, good afternoon. I am actually driving to work. Usually when I'm on the call, I'm driving to work. I'm gonna make it work. I'm not a really good public speaker, and how do I follow something that was like just so spoken so eloquently right before me? So I don't know. I wasn't quite prepared. Like I said, I'm driving to work. But my gift is compassion. So, and it gets conflicting because I always want to help people, but it becomes borderline between compassion and enabling. So, Andrew, what would you say to someone like me that just wants to, help people, but yet, sometimes I may take it too far and try to help too many people, whereas, it may affect me because they may not, want the help or appreciate it. And it's kind of funny because in my line of work, I'm in law enforcement, and I have to be a certain way sometimes. I can't show too much compassion, so it's conflicting. So I stand by, being compassionate, but I don't know.
You can be compassionate in your line of work, Raquel. You can be.
Exactly.
Compassion is a way that you treat the criminal. You don't have to manhandle the person and shout at him and scream. You handle them with respect. Respect shows compassion. So it's not.
Yes, and I do.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we've got less
do.
than a minute left. This was a very full and complex call. I'll post as soon as I can. There's no 8 o'clock call tonight. On Saturday, we've got 3 training sessions. It's not going to be duplications of each other. It's going to be a continuous series of calls. All 3 recordings will be posted on YouTube. We're going to cover a lot of work on Saturday. basically from the start to up to where we now. So up on the training, and then I'll also give you updates on where we stand with what. Everybody, we're out of time. Unmute yourself, shout bye.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye. Have a good evening or day.
Cheers,
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you on Saturday.